Hey everybody, you're listening to the Hisessions.
You sure you ready?
I guess not. Hey everybody, you're listening to the Hisessions Hawaii podcast where we talk about everything local and beyond. I'm John Yamasato, your host, and joining me today is Mr. Devon Nekoba.
How's it? You better leave that in, by the way, because otherwise it's going to be weird that I broke in and I'm laughing while you're doing it.
Yeah, okay. Oh, you know what? We gotta turn on the TV.
Oh, yeah. I got it.
Okay. Before we begin, let me remind listeners of all the ways they can stay in touch with the show. Oh, by the way, Kyle's not here. There's Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at Hisessions. You can go to SoundCloud, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts, listen to the podcast, and finally, you can email us at hisessions@yahoo.com. If you'd like to help the show get more music on our channel, please go to patreon.com and donate. There you get more involved with the show, yada, yada, yada.
Yep.
I actually met up with a patron we have from Switzerland.
Whoa.
She came in town and she gave me some Swiss chocolate, which was great. And we got it. It's in the fridge. I'm going to share with you.
All right, cool.
And also, she got her T-shirt. So, come rain or snow, like the postman, we will get you your T-shirt.
What is her name?
Ingeborg.
Ingeborg. Thank you, Ingeborg. I appreciate the chocolate, even though I haven't eaten it yet. I'm sure it's really great.
It's good. It's good stuff. It's Swiss chocolate. I mean, how about...
and just kind of hang out. No, just she didn't want to come watch the show.
Oh, she went back already. Yeah, but she was here for some kind of conference, and we invited her to the Hisessions shoot the other day, but she couldn't make it because of the conference. So.
Oh shucks.
Yeah, it's okay, but we did get to meet up and sit down and talk and stuff. It's amazing, you meet people from all over the world doing this. And, and everybody's super nice too.
Thank goodness, because if they were an asshole. And you met them.
Yeah, that would.
I met this one Patreon. He's kind of an asshole.
It's a real jerk.
By the way, I apologize for the state of my voice, but it's only supposed to be the three of us or the four of us or whatever. And obviously it's only me and John, so I kind of have to do this. So hopefully I sound okay.
You sound okay. You sound kind of sexy,
dude.
Because of the.
Not when it's just the two of us.
Oh yeah,
that's true. Would be fine, but
that's true.
That was a bit over the line.
All right, okay. Back to the show.
Yes.
Kupu landscape architects. You can call Kevin Yokomura. I just had someone that needed to. Oh, I have a friend who wants to make his lawn like a putting green.
Ooh.
And he's gonna try to talk to Kevin about that. Yeah.
That is some serious work, dude.
Because he wants his, and I'm like, why don't you just put astroturf? And he's like, no, the yard's all bumpy and the ground, so he thinks that it's easier to do the grass, but I don't know. We'll see.
I don't know, man. You still gotta grade that thing.
Yeah.
We had a next door neighbor in Kailua.
Okay.
Who was his yard was like a putting green. It was bananas. He was working on that thing
all the time, right?
Weekend.
Yeah, that's a
mowing and weeding and seeding and
that is my expectation, but who knows? Maybe Kevin has some kind of
magical thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Way to do it.
All right.
You can find Devon. Oh, Fort Ruger Market. I did have Rugerlicious today.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is I'm doing one poke bowl a month, and then the other 2 weeks is going to be like stuff. Plates and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that'll be,
I like my standard.
The play date. Yeah, play date is good.
It's got a little bit of everything in there.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Oh no, this is an old paper.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I'm just riffing.
Oh, look at you! Wow. Okay.
So can we still find you on Kumu in the mornings?
Yes. My voice is not there yet. It is still in Japan time. So hopefully we'll be back soon.
Okay.
I went on vacation and decided not to come back yet.
Well, were you doing a lot of yelling up there?
No, I wasn't yelling at all. So we were supposed to record on a Wednesday of the week before,
right?
When Ryan had come, and I completely lost my voice. I mean, it was gone. It wasn't even doing this. It was just,
yeah, that's right.
That was it. And so, obviously, I couldn't come in and record, so I didn't. And then for the week I was in Japan, it was so bone-chillingly cold, and I was under the weather. And I guess it's also springtime, so just pollen everywhere.
Oh.
And I think my nose just went, fuck it.
No, so I have a friend of mine who I play Fortnite with at night.
Yeah.
And he lives in Japan.
Yeah.
And he was saying that after the war, I guess there was a lot of cedar trees planted all around Japan. Like I don't know why. He had an explanation as to why they plant, but then the cedar gives off this pollen that a lot of Japanese people are allergic to. So hay fever season is just bananas out there.
Oh yeah, my nose was running, or it was plugged, or it was something, and it was Japan around this time when a lot of people are going. The exchange rate, fantastic. But it was so cold. It was 40s. I brought my heavy jacket. My wife said, "Ow, what you bringing the heavy jacket for?" And then we had to buy layers because it was so cold.
Yeah. 40s is no joke. It's pretty chilly.
Well, the thing is though, we were Tokyo Disney area, and so it was freezing because the wind was coming off the ocean.
Exactly.
And holy crap! I haven't felt cold like that since I was in Spokane for school for Gonzaga. It was nuts.
Yeah,
Gonzaga. Go
nice.
Zags. So
okay, so here's the thing. Our guest, it may or may not be on his way.
Yeah.
And if
neither of us have gotten a text yet, so we're just sort of.
Yeah, so we're just gonna talk.
Yeah.
And then if he doesn't come, we'll cut this one short. But I did want to also explain about Ryan's podcast.
Oh.
So, wasn't going to say his name.
Are you really going to say?
But no. But I'm just going to say that we did the podcast and some stuff has come up, which in the next few days I'm sure will come out, and so we're going to hold that podcast for now. So sorry that we haven't been
back in a while.
Yeah. But we do have another podcast chambered, so we might have two come out.
Okay.
Kind of in succession.
Okay.
But in the meantime,
and by the way, you still got to catch it, because like if you didn't watch Penny's one, you really got to go catch it.
Yeah, Penny's one was great.
It was really good.
Was really good.
He called me. He was all worried, and I was like, "No, dude, you were golden." The stuff that you were sharing with people.
And that's the thing that's so crazy. He's such a sweet individual that he's concerned about how he,
Yeah, how it was gonna look, or how people might take the information. I was like, "No, man." And what was really encouraging was seeing people like Guraitea and Josh Tatofi. I mean, people who are Illuminati in the Hawaiian music world, who are all like, "Yup."
Yeah. Agreeing with.
Basically, if you missed it, Penny was basically making the suggestion that, look, if you want to do this as a profession, as something that you really want to do, then plan to commit at least 10 years of your life to it.
Yeah.
Straight up, just 10 years of your life.
Yeah, and the underlying message, and he's putting it in a way that I think he's simplifying it so that people can understand.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, like, anytime if you want to be successful in anything, there has to be a dedication.
It's at 10,000 hours.
Yeah.
Something.
Malcolm Gladwell.
Oh, yeah.
It's
to get good at anything.
Yeah, I think it's in the book Blink, or I don't know.
I listened to all of those books, and I don't remember stuff.
What's funny is, like, I would listen to all those audiobooks, right? So Blink, and I can't remember even the names of the books.
Yeah,
right?
see?
And, like, I won't, like, if you said, what was in the book Blink, I'd be like,
I don't know. Yeah.
But if we're in a conversation like this,
and it comes up,
it's something will snap. I'll remember the story that was
it's
in
the
book.
Audio. It's the audio aspect of it. It gets fascinating for you, but it sort of gets in there and it just goes, and then just disappears. Which is why I don't understand why we had to sit through lectures, because I never learned anything in a lecture, except, I don't know about you, but I had a lot of books. With like writing and then lines, because you're writing and all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, what is that note? Because you don't know what the note is, because all it is a line, because you fell asleep and you're just drawing a line.
Yeah, mine's all doodle film. Yeah, I agree with you that the way that people learn is by doing. But I guess it's not practical to have everybody do everything, so you got to come up with some kind of structure.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, so the we have a podcast chambered. Today's podcast may be very short because it may just be Devon and I. This is, and then
who really wants to listen to the two of us talk for an hour?
Yeah. Now next week I will be gone, so we don't have a podcast that week. And then
John is just making it so hard for us to be consistent.
And then what happened is the people that we've booked for April all booked at the end of April.
Yeah.
So now we have a 2-week break again, and then we will be back in mid-April to the end of April.
Maybe we'll find somebody. Maybe our guest who was supposed to be on today will be like, oh crap, and then we'll have to book them for April.
Yeah. It's fine. I mean, things come up and people's.
Okay. Well,
things change.
since we are here,
Yeah.
and I know you chambered something that just sounds like you're gonna go to the bathroom. But anyway, let's talk about like stuff that's happening now.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
The main one being our friend Shohei Ohtani.
Oh, you want to talk about like,
Okay. Current stuff.
Current news.
Because
okay.
So Shohei Ohtani, for those of you who are not familiar. Oh, is he here?
He messaged. Wait, hold on. Okay.
He's messaging something.
He said, "Send me the address."
Oh,
So
okay.
maybe he's lost. Okay. All right. So yeah, we can get started on that.
Yeah.
Until he's here.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, so.
For those of you who don't follow baseball or any of that kind of stuff, Shohei Ohtani, baseball player, he is a dual threat, quadruple threat, because he can pitch and he can also hit.
Yeah.
And do both of them at a world class level.
Like at one point, leading the league in
I mean, he was the
strikeouts
MVP.
and home runs.
It wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. But it recently came out that his interpreter, who interestingly enough was kind of the buffer also for Shohei, embezzled $4.5 million from him
on gambling debts. Allegedly,
which is a huge thing for baseball because I mean that's where the whole Black Sox thing. So now people are trying to figure out what is going on with Shohei.
Yeah, whether he was a victim of a crime or if he's lying and he was gambling or had knowledge about the gambling. And
honestly, I really don't think so. I think he just because he's so focused on baseball.
Well, that's been the feedback that I've been reading about is that everybody that knows him says that he does not really follow other sports and is not interested in other sports and just focuses on baseball and has a very regimented life.
And now he's married, so he really can't focus on anything else.
Right. And so this idea that he would be this underground gambler is somewhat far-fetched. But I mean, who knows?
But John also said Tiger Woods.
I mean, I used to think the world of Tiger Woods because I thought, a lot of these athletes are not good role models in the way they act and stuff. And I mean, they're fun to watch, but like Dennis Rodman, like role model for the kids, not really.
Yeah, but I think Tiger, in the time that he was on the tour, was also known for being kind of a prickly character. Right. I mean,
that's the part.
There are moments where like he's pulling back on his drive and somebody goes or coughs and he stops and he gives him a look and or he kicks people out or he would get angry at people or he'd fight with his caddy or whatever.
See, that's a part of that I didn't know, and that's the thing about that time frame too, though, is because you could build a outward-facing persona, and no one knew your inward-facing persona. I mean, you think about the stories about Chevy Chase, right?
Yeah.
Chevy Chase sounds like an insane person now, but
when he was just a funny dude who was Fletch.
Yeah, right.
The vacation movies and stuff like that.
Yeah, and so now like if you're a jerk or if you're bizarre or something, people are going to talk about you
and
because there's 18 million podcasts, including ours, and they're going to say something, and so it's much harder.
But Shohei has been super secretive about his stuff. I mean, almost to a scary level.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the thing that people said about him. The article that I read, people just didn't know anything about him. People played on the team with him and were like, he'd show up with his interpreter, go to a specific area, do that thing, come out, pitch, come out, hit. I mean, he was friendly with people. He wasn't a dick, but he just they never got to know him.
So there could be so what you're saying is there could be a Shohei that we don't know about.
Well, I think anytime you're dealing with an interpreter, anytime it's not your natural, your first language and you're sort of trying to work through it, right?
Yeah.
There's always going to be that weird thing. And the only reason I know some of this is because of Ichiro, right? Because when Ichiro came to us, it was the same thing. I mean, he really only spoke Japanese.
Yeah.
He had an interpreter for the whole time.
Yeah.
It was only toward his later years that he started talking even a little bit. But the thing that was interesting was the people in the clubhouse, they knew him. They talked to him. And not even through an interpreter. He learned English.
Right.
Whereas Shohei's not even at that point. He doesn't even have to do any of that stuff.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see, man. I mean, I just hope for baseball's sake.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's crazy because you watch the games and people kind of they're sitting there and they watch the game or whatever. When he comes up to bat, everybody's phone comes out.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole like
Oh, yeah.
you can just feel the crowd like, what is he gonna do? So.
Well, and also, I mean, if he pops up to the second baseman, the reporters go and talk to the guy.
Yeah.
Right. Who caught the ball.
Yeah.
And then also talk to the pitcher and say, what did you pitch him? How did you pitch him? What did you pass?
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
Is it a
because,
curveball? It's like, what?
He's moved to the Dodgers now,
Mm-hmm.
who have real big stars already,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then every interview I see, they're like, "What's Shohei like?"
Yeah.
They're asking these guys, and they're all really good sports about it, and they'll answer the questions and stuff. But it must be weird, you're a superstar, and every question you get is about Shohei Ohtani, which is it's just one of those
Which
weird.
is why most of us are going, I don't know how the Dodgers are going to do. Like they have, there's always that thing, right? You have all these really, really great players, but they're not a good team.
Right. Yeah, they have to gel as a team.
Deal with all that stuff.
Yeah. So we'll see. Anyway, that's a little literally inside baseball. And what we'll do is we'll take a quick break.
Cough at you.
No problem. I'm not a. It's funny, like
you're not a germaphobe.
Well, they said that there's like people who are quote unquote clean, but there's germ clean and then there's like clutter clean.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a germ clean guy. I mean, I don't care about. I'm not really that big. One way or the other.
Boy still gotta wash his feet.
But like I'm a clutter person. Like I don't like stuff all over the place. So that's more me. That I'm more clutter than germ. But some people are more germ than clutter.
I
I
understand.
So okay, we'll take a short break and we'll be back.
Wait, no.
What?
I want to talk about something else.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And I want to talk about this only because you haven't watched it. So I kind of want to get your feeling on why you didn't watch it.
Okay.
So Shogun has been out. It's into its 6th episode. There's like 4 left.
Okay.
On Hulu. And actually, surprisingly, on Disney Channel.
Oh, wow. Isn't it kind of violent?
Disney and Hulu, right? Now they're
linked.
Yeah. So you can watch a bunch of Disney stuff on Hulu. You can watch a bunch of Hulu stuff on Disney. So you can watch like R-rated movies on Disney Plus, which is really weird because Shogun has not shied away from any of that stuff. So there's beheadings and there's naked people and the whole thing. But I was just curious about why you just didn't get into it.
Well, like I said, I try not to do television series because I want something that I'm going to start and it's going to finish that day. Because then I don't think
that
about...
day.
Yeah, like a movie is like that night. I start it that night, it ends that night, and that's it. It's done. I don't have an ongoing relationship with this project,
Oh, okay.
For days and days after.
There was a movie you saw that I wanted to see, and you wrote your one-word review, and I was like, oh.
Okay, well, I saw American Fiction, the wrestling one, Iron Claw.
Oh, that was the one.
Oh,
you
yeah.
Said it was you said it was kind of depressing. And
man, it's
really dark and.
Well, it's based on a true story. Right about the family,
which is awful.
And and it just was so sad. It's well, I don't want to spoil any of it for the audience.
Well, I mean, but everybody, if you read up on the family.
Yeah, if you read up on the family, you'll know. Yeah. But
and if you're a wrestling fan, you know.
Yeah, but it's just.
What else? How was American Fiction? Did you like it?
I did like it.
Okay.
But I put that it wasn't for everybody because it is a little heady, and it's not very. I found it funny, but I don't know because it's the absurdity. This guy is a writer, right? And he's this very educated African American man, and writes highbrow stuff, but none of it sells. So as a joke or as a myth, he writes like a something that he thinks would be not good fiction, but it's
and it explodes
and it goes off,
of course.
And then the more he tries to make it, he just gets more and more ridiculous the more popular this thing becomes.
Of course.
Yeah. So I thought it was really well written. It was real well done and real good. So I saw that, but out of the 4, so I saw Iron Claw, that movie. Anyone But You was my favorite.
I liked Anyone But You too.
It was a good romantic comedy.
Yeah, it's a romantic comedy for now.
Yeah.
Right. It's not a romantic like if it was done in the 80s, people were like, "Where's all the sex?"
Right.
It was all on naked
right.
people. And
Right.
this is not that.
Right.
Yeah. But it's good. I thought the chemistry between the leads was really good.
Yep.
I thought it had some really funny moments.
It had some really funny moments.
It had some heartfelt moments in there.
Yeah.
And Sydney Sweeney, who is the actress in it, she was one of the producers, which is a good thing.
Well, that's what I was thinking was, man, she must have made a killing off this thing because, yeah, I mean, it made a lot of money.
It made a butt ton of money, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was, and it's good that a movie like that did well, because I think
Right.
it's a good movie. And it wasn't like, okay, well, let's do Anyone But You Part 2. You can't. There's
Right.
no way.
Right.
There's an
well, I'm
ending
hoping
to
they
the
don't do that because that's what was ruining a lot of these movies. It's like, what is the next one that's coming out that I'm like, oh my god. Well, there's a Bad Boys 4 coming out, which actually doesn't look that bad.
No, it
but you know, and then there's something.
Did you watch Dune 2?
I didn't because I had a hard time getting through Dune 1.
Yeah.
And if
Why?
I'm gonna it's just so much explaining, and there's all these different cultures and the names, and I'm trying to learn all this stuff, and it just was like homework watching that thing, and then I completely forgot what happened. So in order to watch this, I got to watch Dune 1 again, and then I'm just like,
read the Wikipedia thing.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I guess I could do that. I mean, I heard it's really good.
Because Dune 2 is really good. And
yeah,
it jumps straight into right after when the first one. So
yeah.
I mean, it's world building, right? So
Right.
it's like Lord of the Rings.
Right.
You got to kind of build the thing out, and then stuff happens. So
Yeah.
Dune 2 is sort of the payoff of Dune 1.
Okay, he's
Is he
here.
here?
We'll take a break. We'll be right back. And we're back. Okay, introducing our guest for today, Osna Ronquilio. Thank you very much for. Did I say your name right?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming in.
Much mahalo for having me.
So, Osna is a artist, producer, DJ, filmmaker. You got a little bit of everything in your thing.
Yeah.
He's you want to talk about Renaissance man? That's Os. He even builds stuff like people.
Studios.
I went to somebody's studio and they're like, "Oh yeah, Os built this."
Yeah,
I'm like,
really?
Yeah.
What?
I built a St. Louis studio right down the road for the school. Yeah.
That's right. That's what it was.
Yeah.
They're like, Osna built this. I'm like, what you mean he built this? I'm like, well, yeah.
A little bit. Well, so it's more of out of survival. It's not like I wanted these skill sets because I like had to. It's like I kind of didn't want to pay people to do the jobs, or I did pay them and I realized how expensive they are, and then I'm gonna figure this out myself.
Yeah. So okay, so I was telling him as we were walking in that I've been an admirer of his for a long time, especially because on his posts he posts a lot of stuff that I'd like to say, but I'm too scared to say it. But he has no problem just like talking about.
Well, that's because I'm self-employed, because I do all the things that I can. So like I don't really have a boss where it's like, you can't say that, you can't do that. So I'm like, I make my own money. I can do whatever I want.
So, but were you always? Okay, so let's backtrack, I guess, a little bit here. You're a local boy growing up here, I'm assuming, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you get into the entertainment business, but you're kind of like all over the place. Is there a certain direction that you were planning on going, and you ended up doing what you do now with the DJing and the filmmaking and all that stuff?
No plan. Actually, ever since school days, everybody has like, oh, what are you going to be when you grow up, or what college you're going to go to, or what you're going to do with your life 10 years from now. It's like, I don't know, just wing it, everything, freestyle everything. I think everything fell into place. Yeah. So I started off producing music because some of my friends from high school were doing it, and I just...
Where's high school, by the way?
I went Radford.
Okay.
Nice.
So I grew up in Aliumanu. It's like right by Radford. In between us, the district is Salt Lake, Aliumanu, Foster Village is what they consider. And so I grew up... Radford is like 75% military.
I was gonna say that's
that must be interesting, bro.
So it's because it's Pearl Harbor, Hickam, and AMR is the three bases that all the kids go to. So you have the local families where you get like all the Hawaiian, Polynesians, and Filipinos, and then Foster Village is more like the Asian side, and then you get all the military. Also,
so every year you get like a new crop of
students
that come in, and
so sometimes I'd be with like, I went to school with you. It's like, I don't remember. Like, but yes, every year it's military, so they come and go.
Dang, that's interesting. Yeah. Okay.
But that's how I kind of got into hip hop, because all my friends were, from different parts of the states, where everything, in school is where you get a lot of your music from, right?
Yep,
So
yep.
they're sharing with stuff that I would not normally hear if I just hung out with the local crowd.
I think actually, your experience with that is different from almost everybody else, right? Because you don't get to just hear East Coast hip hop or West Coast hip hop.
Yeah,
you weren't focused on one thing, right? They just kind of barrage you with everything.
Yeah, it was like this group of like white friends I had, really like super into Wu-Tang. Like you would never expect it,
Wow.
Like, it was like they're skaters, so they all listen to rock and roll.
Yeah.
But the hip hop dude was like, yo, Wu-Tang. So that's how I got into like that kind of stuff.
Interesting.
But then I was breakdancing in school, so I was into more like pop locking and freestyle music. And then some other friends who would like be like my basketball friends, they would listen to only like gangster rap, NWA, Tupac, Biggie, stuff.
When did you graduate from high school?
2003.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, see, he's a young guy.
Yeah.
He's achieved so much after only so much time on this earth. It's pretty amazing, actually. But so did you find that you took all the different hip hop and you sort of like amalgamated it into something that you like? Because your style is very different. For those of you who don't know that, and I'm not trying to pull him up any more than he already is, but Os is, if not the battle rapper, like the number one battle rapper in the islands. Like there's nobody even touches you, bro. Like nobody even tries. But it's because your style is so, like, you can switch things up. You don't necessarily just go one way. And is that sort of how your thing evolved?
Yeah, I think with a lot of my friends who came from like certain areas, their style is the New York style, the California style, where I like kind of soaked in everything. Because who do I have to look up to here? There's nobody. There's no mentors. There's no rapper from here that made it, right?
Yeah.
So kind of just whatever I liked, incorporate into my style. But there's a story I used to tell people where my dad was running 24-hour fitness at the time, and this is when they used to have to play CDs for right?
Yeah.
So one day he goes into the music's not working. He calls the DJ up. He's like, "Hey, what's going on?" They fix it. There's this box, and it's like trash. And he's like, "You guys are just gonna throw away all these CDs?" He's like, "Yeah, we're not gonna use them." So my dad's like, "Oh, I'm gonna just give them to my son. He likes music." And he didn't know they were gonna throw it away because it was all explicit lyrics. They couldn't play it in the gym.
Oh, no.
So like I'm like second, third, fourth grade listening to only like the most explicit rap albums ever, and I'm the only person in my neighborhood who has it, because everybody else, like we're not spending $10-15 on CDs. So, and then my house became the hub of where like everybody came to break dance and like listen and party and listen to music. So then I had a wide variety of, and back in those days, like if you picked up a Biggie album, like Ready to Die, for example, they only want to play Big Papa.
Yeah.
But then they don't realize the rest of the album, he's like killing everybody on the album, Like it's it's very explicit. So that's the kind of music I grew up on. And then just incorporate into my own stuff. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how does so you get into the rap game and there's a small community here of that kind of stuff. So are you kind of, because what was blowing me away, and you can find this online on your YouTube page, but he's like freestyle rapping, solving a Rubik's Cube, just like and I've always been just amazed at those rappers who can do that, just like off the top of their head, spit rhymes and stuff. And I wanted to ask a little bit about that process, because is it something that you can practice, or
100%.
is it a skill? Okay, so how does one go about practicing rhyming?
Rhyming?
Practicing to become a freestyle rapper. Like I
feel like if you can rap other people's songs,
yeah,
then you can that's the start, I feel like.
Oh.
So for me, you know, growing up rapping to all the explicit CDs my dad gave me, right, going word for word. I remember one specific one was Nas, It Was Written. You can open up the album cover and he had all the lyrics on it already.
Really?
So I used to
That's
read.
the nice thing about CDs back in the day, or like records, right? You can put stuff in there, like
Right, like little linear notes. So I would read along the lyrics. That album had Nas' big hit, If I Ruled the World.
Yeah.
So I'd just read along while he's rapping, and I could see, because sometimes you listen to music and you're like, oh, and then you read the lyrics like, I didn't think that's what he said, but now I can see it. But that was my start. So rapping along with other people's, because once you start doing that, then you figure out how they do it.
Yeah.
How they're formulating their bars.
Well, actually, break that down for us, because I think a lot of
I got this
people
good
over the
tweet
years
that you made too that I thought
Was
this
that?
is so good. Well, keep going, but I'll find it.
A lot of people have said, you know, they talk about M, they talk about Nas, they talk about who else? Any of the big rappers, Jay-Z, people like that.
Yeah.
That there's a quality to their rhyming, but what is it about it? Because I'm not a rapper, never been a rapper. I can appreciate what you do, but I think knowing that your influence is a Nas or whatever, what is it that makes them so unique and so? I mean, because some guys can
let me read
spit
this
fast and
Let me read this tweet.
Oh.
1 day ago, he wrote this. He says, "What makes a musician stand out? The unique riffs they play. What makes a singer stand out? The notes they can hit. So what makes a rapper stand out is those pockets you don't normally hear. The first two are melodic, rap is percussive. You gotta hit those flows like a drummer." I thought that's so true. You know, like rap is, I mean, there is a timbre to someone's voice that, you know, so certain rappers, like, they have a voice that's easier to listen to than others. So there is some, you know, melodic in that. But it's the rappers, like, you know, like Bone Thugs and Harmony, their whole thing is that triplet, the way they're hitting the beat.
sort of thing.
And in harmony.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so the rap is a percussive thing, but you don't. Do you have percussive background drumming or whatever? But
No, I can't even play any instruments, honestly. But it's.
But you're the one who comes up with the beats.
Yeah, I don't know how. Honestly, it's just all programming. It's ear. It's ear. That's kind of what it is.
That's my question.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was part of the answer, I think.
Well,
It's
no,
like,
but I'm asking about specific rappers because
So like
for
okay,
him,
so like
Nas-
Eminem does hit pocket. So a pocket is if the beat is like, then how do you formulate words in between the kick and the claps? Whereas you can go by era, like 80s was very straightforward, right? Hip hop, hip it to the hip it to hip hop. But Eminem would do something where it'd be like hip da 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 then it makes you like, oh, I never heard that before. It's like a drummer who's drum solos where you can just have a drummer that just hits the same hi-hat and snare over and over. So but then that becomes, it's more of like a rapper's rapper. Like me, I appreciate that because I see how much creativity they put into it. Whereas maybe a regular person is like, man, that was too much for me.
But I think that's why battle rapping, it's really hard for people to keep up with you, because you start at a certain level and then you go boom and you just take it someplace. They go, wait, what? Because I saw one that blew my mind because it was sort of, it sort of started out maybe a little fair, but the guy was from the mainland. And so he's rapping a certain thing, and you took it, and then you went into Hawaiian history.
Oh, yeah.
And then, you know what I mean? And then you took it street, and then you did some stuff. And I went, holy shit. Because you did it all within the bars that you had. You weren't just keeping, like you said, to that one thing, right?
Well, battle rap is a whole different thing. I started battle rapping because I had an album release party, and maybe 10 people... I mean, there was a lot of people there, but maybe 10 people was in front of the stage actually listening. At the end of the night, it was like a full-on hip-hop event, so there's other things going on. But at the end of the night, they ended it with a battle rap. And I never battle rap before this time. This is my first one. And all the uncles was drunk already. Bro, you just rap, bro. You just do an album. You can just go on. It's like, I was like, I don't know. This is like a different kind of rap, you know? Yeah. So I was like, all right, I'll try whatever. I ended up smashing it, but 100 people were like, yeah. So I was like, wow, it took me 6 months to make this album for 10 people when then 100 people just reacted off with something right off the top. So I'm like, I'm just do battle rap instead. This is a lot more, because if I hand you a CD right now, you don't know what to expect, right? What kind of beat? You don't even know if it's rap at first, right? I gotta tell you. So musically, then genre, then subgenre, then so it's like a lot to take in for a new audience. Like, I don't know what I'm getting myself into. But in battle rap, you know exactly what's going on. That guy's gonna diss that guy, so it's easy for you to keep up with as far as the concept of what's going on. But then it can get complex because of where battle rap has gone since Eminem's 8 Mile. It's a lot more complicated now.
How so?
It's not really freestyle anymore. So a lot of the YouTube battles you see now is more prepped.
Really?
Yeah. So it'd be like me versus you. Yeah. 6 months from now, like an MMA. It's treated like MMA fights now.
No way.
So it's like you train. To battle the next person.
Wow.
Yeah. But I haven't gotten to that point yet because in Hawaii we just didn't have that level. But the mainland that's where it's at now. It's like very theatrical. Very
interesting.
That's why it's a lot better. It's more of like now it's who writes better.
Yeah.
Who can perform it better.
Yeah.
So they write their own script, they perform it like actors now. So the freestyle part is kind of like an old art.
Well, what do you think about? Do you know who Harry Mack is?
Yes.
What do you think about guys like that? He's just a freestyler that goes around.
100%. That's a skill set that like is being a lost art, kind of. I feel like.
Interesting.
But see, those you can tell who freestyles because they actually engage with the crowd. They pick apart things in the room, their surroundings, right? Where that's always gonna get a normal crowd.
Yeah. So it's become an art form or almost like a sport in itself. Rapping beyond just the I guess before it was like, I'm gonna make a CD and I'm gonna become a famous rapper. But now there's like so many subgenres of what you can do, and
internet changed everything, honestly. Everybody has their own access to. I mean, we can make a song right here and put it out for like $10 on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, everything, right? So you don't need a big time studio anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I found that out too. I always tell people, if you listen to Kanye West, what's his super famous song, Gold Digger.
Mm-hmm.
There's this part where he says prenup in it.
Mm-hmm.
He pops that P so hard, my sound engineer ears want to burst, you know? But it's sold.
We want prenup. We want
prenup. Exactly. It sounds just like that. And I'm like, wow. But I mean, it sold 1 billion copies or whatever you use, you know? So it's like, who cares? Because the song is good, right?
That's the thing about hip hop is like, so much bad quality in the history of like hip hop. It's because they record in basements, they record in horrible mics, and
but in the end,
capture the essence of what they're trying. That's what it is.
And the feel. And I think, you know, people nowadays, they don't. I mean, they care to a point. Like things can't, especially on YouTube and stuff. You can't have the camera sound. You know, you have to have the mic there, and you have to be able to capture that. But from there, like, people aren't super. If there's a buzz in a bass or something like that because of a feedback or something, or someone's voice cracks, they're not really gonna care if they like the song. Yeah,
there's some records I have to actually dirty up. Like I record it too clean. I record it too clean, and it just sounds too good. And I'm like, okay, we gotta put like the vinyl sound over it in the background, or we gotta saturate the drums or something to make it sound a little bit more dirty.
Well, I remember when digital first came out. So I have a friend who's a music producer too, and we would produce records together. And he liked things dry. He didn't like putting a lot of effects on it, and he liked to quantize everything, which means that the computer aligns
perfectly on
things, on the beat. And we get into these arguments all the time because I say it sounds like a robot. Like, It's just too mechanical sounding to me. Like it's got.
Is that Aaron, by the way?
It's Aaron.
Hi, Aaron.
Gotta have some swing to it.
Yeah. It's gotta have some like breath to it, you know. Like, and he would just take the drum and like line it up, everything perfectly, And to me, there is something with that live feel. But again, I get his point too, because sometimes it would be way too off, and then it just sounds bad.
So that's the same with like the freestyle part in battle rap.
Yeah.
Like, now that it's written, that's like too much on beat. You got it. So like mine's is like a hybrid version of like, okay, I have things I want to say, I just don't know when I'm gonna say it. So it's not like if I'm obviously battling an Asian guy, I'm gonna have Asian jokes. I just don't know where they're gonna come from. But that's where the freestyle comes in, where it's like a little bit off, right? And then people they gravitate to freestyling better because it's more impressive. It's more impressive that person came up with something right then and there.
You know what's funny though is so do you know who Harry Mack is? Did we talk about him before? Harry Mack is a guy from New York.
He came down for a show at the Republic.
I saw him at Coalina. I was having dinner. I'm like, oh my god, that's Harry Mack. My kids didn't know who that was, so they were not impressed. But I was like, look, it's Harry Mack. But he just does freestyle and stuff. But his whole thing was, ever heard of Omegle?
Omegle.
It's this website that like basically you have your screen and there's another screen and it just randomly generates people and you guys chat.
Oh wow.
So he would get on there and then he would just be like, hey, can I do a rap for you? And then people would be like, okay. And then he would just freestyle rap for them, And what's always hilarious about me of those videos is he would be like throwing out these awesome freestyle raps and everyone would just be sitting there like, oh yeah, that's cool, And then all of a sudden he would like pick out their shirt and start rapping about their shirt. Or once it became about them, then it's like, whoa, your mind gets blown. But until then, I mean, he's doing to me what's like impossible is just like coming up with rhymes out of nowhere. But until it's about them, like they're not impressed, which I thought was just always funny.
Yes, right. That's how the Hawaiian history one. That's kind of how it went because he was. The guy I was battling is Daylight. You can look it up on YouTube for all those that didn't see it. It's the last round where the first two rounds are batting against each other. The third round he starts first and he's basically saying, why are we battling each other? We should be battling the white people who suppress both our cultures, right? The African American and the Hawaiian community both suffered through whites conquering. So he went that route, and I was like, okay, my rebuttal would be like, well, then let me give you a history then of Hawaiian. So, but then now that it becomes personal to Hawaiians, right? That's where it's like impressive. The first two rounds, people are like you, or like that person on Harry Mack. They're like, he's just rapping, whatever. And then it's like, oh, the third round, I feel that. That's about us, yes.
Interesting.
So that's another thing we got to take into consideration when writing music in general is your audience, who you catering to.
Yeah. But man, I just you must have some kind of big computer brain back there because it's impressive.
It's I soak in knowledge and then I figure out how to put it in rhyme form. I think that's what it is. I think when you look at podcasts are very informative if you have like certain guests or whatever, right? Specific topics. Now, if I watch something like that where he's talking about a specific topic that I'm interested in, then okay, I want to see how I can flip that into rhymes.
One of the cool things too about talking with us about stuff is like you were saying, right? That ability to open up your mind and just go, okay, I'm gonna just take this stuff in, and I'm gonna judge one way or the other. Because it was a couple months ago, yeah, he'd put out like, hey, what is this religion thing? Like, I don't understand what you guys doing with Christianity. You know what I mean? And it was it was interesting because it was a very open-ended question, and it was very honest. He was just being very much like, so school me a little bit. It's okay. Teach me a little bit about how this goes. Yeah. And it was fascinating for me because, and I called him and we actually talked for about, I don't know, like half an hour or so.
While I was renovating.
Yeah, while he was renovating and doing some work. But it was fascinating for me, A, that you took my call to talk about that, but B, that it was a free flow of information. It wasn't you passing judgment on what I was saying. It wasn't me passing judgment on what you were saying. It was just us going, hey, so what about this? And what about this? And what about this? And it was really fascinating for me because it gave me a chance to share what I knew from what I knew. And he goes, okay, well, what about this? And what about that? And it gave me it gave me something to think about and go, oh, I never thought about that aspect of it.
You know, like news clips, they take like a 2-hour story, but they condense it to 2 minutes because that's all they can,
that's all they can put out there. Yeah.
That's kind of like what I do. So like I take 2 hours worth of information, just soaking it in, whether it be religion, right? Let me learn about Christianity real quick. And then
real quick,
how do I, right? Well, because then how do I just put that into a 2 minute, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what I really got to do is how do I present all of this information enough in a 2 minute span where it catch your attention that you would want to go look into it further.
Yeah. I think it's a lot like Hamilton was.
Yes.
Right? Who gave a rat's ass about a guy on the $10 bill? And then they do this play or this musical. And people learned so much about Hamilton that they had no idea about. Some of the stuff was, like you said, you had to shrink some of the stuff down. But there was enough in there that people went, what about this guy? And they went to look it up.
And that's same with news, right? You got good headlines, and then people follow the story a little bit more.
See, maybe you got to do like a rapping news headlines thing. Take the news of the day, distill it down
That's what the Angry Locals Freestyle Fridays is basically. We pick one topic of the week, we feel like, and then just hammer it down into one song.
But the idea that you guys would, because... so Oz sometimes sits in with Chris Styles. Yeah, because we had Styles on the pod as well.
During the pandemic.
Wow.
Yeah,
so
poor
he couldn't
guy,
come inside. We had to Zoom him.
He's sitting in his house with the window, trying to stay cool. Yeah. But I remember when I heard their first album, when I heard the Angry Locals' first album, it blew me away because not only was it topical, but there was stuff that beat-wise hit super hard. There was stuff that they obviously were like, okay, we're going to get butts moving on a dance floor with this song, And to know that all these local guys sat in a room together, figured this thing out, blew my mind. And then for them every Friday to put together that, like if you haven't heard, I'm sorry, I know they are technically a competitor to us, but if you get a chance, listen to that segment on 93.1 because the freestyle is pretty magnificent because somehow Os breaks it up, him, Styles, and usually Mox. They sit there and they break up the verses, but each of them has their own take on stuff, and each of them has their own sort of their own way of looking at a subject, and it's really fascinating for me. I think, and you guys do that with the songs as well, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Pick a topic. Do your 16 bars of what you can come up with.
Yeah. But I mean, how do you get the beat for that? Do you come up with the beat and then go, here, we're going to do 16. You can do 16 on this.
Yeah, topic first, beat.
I did see part of Timbaland's masterclass.
Oh, yeah?
And you come up with the beat first.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, for him, he's a producer.
Yeah.
But, normally... it can go either way, and then you can break down the beat. What do you do? Do you start with the drums? Do you start with the melody? Do you start right? So it's all depending on what direction you want to go. There's no that's why I like music. There's no set way to do things. You can be creative enough where there is a guideline, but you can kind of go off of it if you want to.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I was gonna pivot because the other part that people may not know about is there's a visual aspect of what you can do as well, because you've also directed commercials, and some of the stuff I've seen, I mean, it's like, what? Like, I don't, and it's, when I talked to you about it, like, I was, how the hell did you do with the thing and he's like, oh yeah, I just, I was just trying to figure out how I could do this effect, and he goes, and I found if I don't know, it was something like you're doing a slashing thing or whatever, and you're like, yeah, if I just do this and clap this thing and move this over there, and then it did the thing I needed it to do, and I went, what?
Experimenting, yeah. Yep. That's banging on the table might get you a new kick if you EQ it enough, compress it, same with visuals, like a lot of things I do is on accident because I'm willing to fail. Like I'm not scared to fail or try. Yeah. Right. And then I think and in those failures I figure out what does work, and then the next time I'll be like, oh, let's use that. And then so much failures gave me so much, a big, I don't know, archive of things where I can use. And then
there's always even when you fail, there's always something that you can pull out of it that you can use later.
Yeah. And I'm like I live by this 80-20 rule where let's say it takes me a day to do a song, 80% done. But then that 20% might take another week to perfect it. Yeah. But then 99% of the audience that listening to the song, they don't know the difference between the 80% and the 100%. So do I spend an extra 6 days working on this for the 1% that's only going to hear the difference, or do I just stick with the 80 so I can do more? So I can do 7 songs instead of 1 song in a week at that way. But then if you're a sound engineer, don't listen to Angry Local's first album because I have no idea what I was doing then, and it was like straight raw. Like whatever we recorded like this, it was like no effects, nothing. That's just kind of how it came out.
It was great though,
but yeah, that's what I mean. Those times, and then I listened to back, and okay, now I know what to clean up now.
Well, there's always a battle in any album or any music where if as the musician, as the artist, you will just keep redoing and perfecting and try to, and at a certain point you're like, we just got to release this.
Yes.
Or else it'll just never see the light of day, so I understand.
The new Pure Heart.
Exactly. Yeah. But that's not my fault. but yeah, no, I mean, I've obsessed over, tracks. Oh, I could sing that a little better. But in reality, it's like you play it for your friend. They're like, oh, this is great.
That's my test.
Yeah.
I play it for somebody and I just get their initial reaction. Then I can tell if I need to fix it or not. Because if they're just sitting like this, I'm like, oh, that didn't hit. Okay, I got to do something else. But if the first time I play, they're like, oh, yes. I'm like, okay, that's good enough already. Let's put that in the clip and we're ready.
Well, what kind of equipment are you using for recording? Are you on like a Pro Tools or I don't even know what the hell it's out there. Adobe. So Adobe has
Audition. Because I just use the whole package. So I use Photoshop, After Effects, Premiere.
Wow, so yes, you just have for audio.
So just figured out the audio, yeah. I actually started with Audition from the beginning, so when Adobe started coming up with all of these other stuff, I was just like, that's why I trans into video work easy. It's the same program. Okay. The same way I cut up beats is the way I cut up clips. Oh wow. Same cue points and everything. It's just like, so it's like, yeah, easy.
That makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. I don't even know. Yeah, I mean, nowadays we're doing this on GarageBand for this podcast.
You just gotta press record.
It's the free thing that comes with the laptop. We're doing this podcast on. So.
Yeah, talk to us a little bit about DJing.
Yeah, I wanted to ask. Okay, I have a question about DJing.
Oh yeah.
So you became a club DJ.
Yeah.
A lot of people do DJs. They DJ parties and stuff like that. You've established yourself as a good club DJ. Would you recommend that to people? Or maybe give us some pros and the cons of doing the club DJing, because I think it's a very
You've been reading his tweets, huh?
Yeah. Well, he talks about it a lot, so that's why I know you have opinions on it. So it's a very club DJ, but I'm sure there's ups and downs.
Always the worst.
Okay.
I've traveled, I played all over the place. I was on tours and did all kind of shows all over, so I got to see beyond Hawaii.
Yeah.
And Hawaii is by far like the worst paying. 100%.
Okay.
100%. So if you want to be a DJ, you're not gonna. I bet you can't even name one DJ that bought a house. That's like how bad it is, right? Like you can't. There's no ways you're gonna survive. Most of the parties are Friday, Saturday, and you're probably only gonna get like a 2-hour block. Most places pay like $100 an hour. So what, you gonna go home with like $400 a week? You ain't gonna survive off of that, right? And if you get more, whatever, it's not sustainable enough. So you're only doing it for cool points. Most of the DJs I know spend that $200 on the bar tab.
Right.
You know,
Night, right.
Parking tip, bar tab is like they're just doing it to party for free. So getting into it, you're gonna also have a hard time because there's not that much clubs. Like honestly,
right.
How much
especially
clubs?
Nowadays.
Well, actually, and because we old, we don't know what clubs there are. I mean, what do you got? You got artistry. You got what else?
Artistry is a private party. They don't even do club. They only do like private events. So,
where are the world cafes and oceans clubs of today?
So if you're gonna do actual nightclubs, 'cause there's two categories. That's why there's nightclubs and then there's restaurants that pretend to be clubs.
Okay.
They move all the tables at 10 o'clock and then they be like, "Hey, we're a club now." No. So honestly, nightclubs would be only District.
Oh, that's right.
Which is under Republic, Alamana.
Yeah.
Used to be Old Bar 7. Before that was Venus.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Play Bar.
Okay.
In Waikiki. They've been around for like 20 years. And then I'd say Scarlet in Chinatown. And then that's kind of like... Well, I don't even know if Scarlet is nightclub. Maybe 3 categories because bars. Yeah. I think Chinatown is just bars.
Bar 35.
Bar 35, Next Door Manifest, Scarlet. I think those are like... They're too small, that's why to be a club. You only can fit like 100 people in there.
Yeah.
So that's why another thing, why you can't pay a DJ a lot.
Right?
Because if you only can fit 100 people in here, whereas like World Cafe, Pipeline, you could fit like 1,000 people.
Yeah, right.
So
easily.
you could.
So that has kind of gone the way of the...
Gone.
Wow.
There's
I wonder
nothing.
Why. Is it...
I think it's
everyone's at home like
there's a couple things. I think one, you don't have to go out to meet people anymore.
Yeah,
you have internet.
Yeah, it's true.
Why I gotta buy you a drink? I'm gonna slide in your DM, for free, right? It's like, let's go. So internet now, where it's like
that makes a lot of sense.
Right?
Yeah,
I don't have to go out. So what I'm seeing now is the only people that really go out is they're celebrating something, a birthday party, a bachelor party, whatever it is. It's got to be like something. The people that go out every week, they're just you have those regulars, but in an overall sense of like Hawaii's party scene, well, another thing is expensive, right?
Right.
How much more expendable money do we have? Because going out nowadays, you're gonna drop 100 easy.
Yeah.
An hour.
Yeah.
Right. So how much people do have that income where they can spend
disposable
that much?
income.
Yeah. And then the state doesn't want it. The state's been like. They're not giving away 4 o'clock licenses anymore.
Nope.
So that's gone. They're not doing like block parties in Chinatown.
Yeah, which I used to play those. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, right. So they're making it harder for block parties. They're making it harder to get your liquor license. Well, obviously these people are idiots the way they run their bars and stuff like that. So I don't blame the state for not giving liquor licenses. I mean, we've seen raids at Ether, raids at Attic. They're just raiding all these places that are illegally operating. So, and drunk driving is crazy here.
Yeah,
we're like number one in the nation for drunk driving. So,
cuts back on that.
Yeah.
But your first point makes a ton of sense because I used to go to the club to meet
people.
Well, girls.
You did? Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I tried when I could. But, yeah, that makes sense. You know, it's funny. I just thought about it because my friend used to be on Tinder.
Yeah.
And then he was telling me that Hawaii Tinder's hard because after you do so many swipes, that's it.
There's not that much people on there.
There's not that much people, So but I remember going to the club back in the day, and then you'd go to like Maharaja. You're too young for Maharaja.
Zanzibar.
Zanzibar.
That's what I know it as.
And then after a while, you go maybe 3 or 4 weeks. By the 5th week, you're like, these are the same people I saw last week. Like you've kind of like gone through it all.
Mm-hmm.
So now that's how Tinder is, I guess.
Well, because Hawaii just likes to breed real early and young, yeah. So you gotta get locked down pretty fast, right? All the girls that I know, right, that are like the club girls of each era, that 21 to like 25-year-olds, they're not partying after. They're locked down. Like they get a boyfriend at the club, and that boyfriend knows like you cannot go out to the club. I know where I found you. You're gonna find your next boyfriend there too.
That's true.
Yeah. But going back to DJing in Hawaii, it's also the hardest place to DJ compared to everywhere else I've been because we don't have a set crowd. Right? So let's say I'm playing at Moani's on Fridays. I play there Fridays. But I get the college crowd, and I get the Asian crowd, I get the local crowd, and I get the military. All in one spot. So now I gotta play hip hop. I gotta play, I gotta play the Migos, but then I also gotta play Jay-Z for the older people. Then I gotta play J Boog for the locals. Then I gotta play like house music for the college kids.
And
so
you gotta mix all of that.
Mix all of that. So I gotta play like 5 different types of music all in one night to cater to crowds, which is hard. Whereas in the mainland they have like, no, we're just playing house music. That's all we get.
Right.
We're just playing 2000 hip hop R&B over here. We're playing only reggae here, which is you can't do that in Hawaii because then now you're just limiting yourself to specific crowds where we don't have enough people. So you gotta cater to like everybody.
Well, at least you don't have to carry records.
That's true. I was going clubs when I was young because all my friends was DJing. Sure. They were in that record holding area. So I used to have to come in with them. And I was like, oh man, I never wanted to be a DJ, honestly. But then when Serato came out and you could do everything on a laptop, I'm like, this is where I'm at right now. My controller is like 5 pounds. I just put it in one backpack. I'm good to go. Yeah.
But everything you say makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Devon, why don't you do one more question?
The question I had for the party thing?
Yeah, do it.
Okay. So, as the DJ, because normally we would ask, like, can you give us three
we're still going to ask that.
We're still going to ask that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mine was, do you have 5 songs? If you're, like, playing a wedding, if you're playing something, are there 5 songs that you can think of that you know you're going to have to play at some point in the evening?
Oh yeah, it definitely depends on what the party is.
Okay, so
because a club and the wedding is 2 different places.
Yeah. So let's can we do 5 in a club and 5 in a wedding?
Okay, wedding is
Electric Slide.
Yes, Electric Slide. It's like they demand it. Like, I guess line dancing would be weddings.
Okay.
So anything like Electric Slide, Cupid Shuffle, sometimes Wobble.
Yeah.
And the weddings are crazy because if it's an old wedding, then they want like Kool and the Gang or like Celebration and Journey. The things they can sing along to.
Oh, okay.
Any big karaoke song is also good for weddings where everybody
seen somebody
gets
play
along.
Sweet Caroline, and I went,
Sweet Caroline goes hard in the wedding. Yes.
Like what?
Yeah. They're all drunk by now. Yeah.
It's a great song, but
so
still. No,
that's the top 5, I guess.
Top 5 in a club. What do you?
In the club, and then that depends
that changes,
too.
Right?
It's a hip hop club
for you. For you in the evening in a hip hop club, what are you gonna do?
Okay.
I don't want you giving any secrets.
No, because these are just normal. DMX up in here always does good.
I actually know that one.
Bring It Out, T.I. There's a dance to it. Yeah. That's why too.
Okay.
Let's think. All I Do Is Win.
Really?
Yeah, because then you'll just get everybody put your hands up. You see the whole, and that's when I usually take the picture. Because they know that's like that. It's like embedded in all the clubbers, and they know the part.
Nice.
So let me think. What else does good in the club? If it's like an older crowd, Usher, that always works.
Older crowd.
Yeah. Well, older now crowd that still go to the club. There's still the late 30s that go to the club.
It's funny because when you bring up Nas, If I Ruled the World, I remember when that came out, I used to go to the clubs. and that was like the new song.
The new song?
Okay. I got 5 on it.
Yeah.
That was like the big song,
Yeah. I think those are some go-to ones. If you want to get ratchet, Waka Flocka, No Hands. I don't know if you guys know that, but
no.
The key to clubbing is play music for women. Because if the women are dancing, we don't care about men dancing. You know what I mean? The men will sit back and watch. Well, because I don't like this song, but
they'll watch. Go. Plus, if they're standing back there, they'll buy drinks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Okay. So Osna, our last question, because technically we're a music station, is: if you were stranded on a desert island and could only bring 3 albums with you to listen to for the rest of the time, and in your case, since you're a young guy, we'll just go 3 artists.
Nah, give him albums. This guy's old soul, man.
Albums.
Yeah. What would those 3 albums be?
Okay,
three albums.
3 albums. Dang. Give me Michael Jackson, Off the Wall.
Wow, okay.
I love Michael Jackson. Yeah. See? Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, probably. It's good.
I do like Stevie Wonder, Kiev. But let's do... Dang. Can I cheat?
Cheat how?
Yeah, I'm gonna do
we can't do greatest hits.
That's what I was saying. That was my cheat. Oh shoot.
Well,
this is music number 23. It's like,
well, and that's why we just because there's a lot of younger people who don't even know what albums are. So we just said, well, just say the artist.
The artist.
So if you say the artist, then that's the greatest hits.
I kind of like albums too, though. Okay, well, if I do artists, definitely Michael Jackson. Music Soul Child. Trying to think because I gotta diversify.
You go through your stack.
I'm gonna need some R&B and I'm gonna need some stuff I can dance to, and then I'm gonna need some rap. Who has the best discography in rap? Give me Kanye West.
Okay.
Oh, wow, interesting.
Yeah.
At this point, that guy's got a pretty deep catalog.
Yeah, his catalog. I like his catalog's deep, and it's very all over the place.
Yeah, it really is.
So whatever mood you're in, there's a Kanye West song for it. You know, if I pick a Jay-Z's kind of almost the same. He's only talking about himself and hustling and business, right? Where Kanye has a lot more diverse music.
There's some
and he incorporates a lot of singing also in his tracks.
Yeah.
So it's not just rap.
Right.
There's some parts where I can actually vibe to.
I'm surprised my daughter, who's 15, listens to Kanye.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I thought by now he'd be the old
irrelevant.
Guy. But yeah, apparently still there.
Well, he has created every single musical genre. Well, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut in, but real quick, because I needed to ask you, state of hip hop in Hawaii, where you at? Because I know it's been up and down, and I know that for all the guys in Angry Locals, I mean there was a time where it was just is this going to happen? What's going on? So I was just kind of curious over the time that you've been doing this now.
We need more creators in Hawaii hip hop. We need more outlets, more places where we can showcase talent, more avenues where there's a platform to be heard. And I think a lot of it would have to come to unity. I would look at it almost like Hawaiian sovereignty movement, where you need leaders in the communities. You need people that are pushing for this, where we're this goal of unity, because we're not gonna achieve any of this on our own. And I think Hawaii hip hop is at the infancy stages of let's come together, push each other. I don't know how the reggae scene started here, but maybe follow that blueprint.
Kind of the same thing, actually.
Right?
Yeah.
How long ago was island reggae music?
That was 1990s.
It started probably 80s, I think.
Well, I mean, it started with
late 80s.
It started with Nolan because Nolan kind of took it, and then I know Brother Walter.
So you see how
those guys.
You have like some head people that kind of right.
Yeah,
I think that's what
they kind of started things.
Yeah.
So these are guys that were popular in another genre that incorporated the reggae into their, you know. So over time, the Hawaiian artists would start adding a couple of reggae songs, and then more, and then the thing kind of.
But then you had people like Vibes, right? So Penny folks came in and said, "No,
we're just gonna do reggae.
We're doing reggae. We're not doing."
But the other guys, let the baseline, the foundation for that, right?
Yeah.
Because then people are kind of used to the reggae stuff, and it's like, okay, well, this group is going to do all reggae. Cool, you know? Yeah, so
what Hawaii hip-hop is in 2020s is what reggae was in 1980.
Wow.
That's how I feel.
That's interesting because it's been around for a while. It's not a new, super new thing, right?
But it's not new.
Because you guys been flying the flag a long time, man.
2010. Yeah, 2010. So, but we're inconsistent, you know, because we're
because you have jobs and
3 separate
you take your keys,
right. And that was the thing with like island reggae artists is like they have the platform of like the 3 major stations that play them all, right? Yeah. So you get the notoriety of people listening in, and then it's also easy listening. Like I can play this at a wedding, at a job, at the mall, whatever, right? Where it's like if I had to filter through only Hawaii hip hop, I'm like, damn, I can't really play any of you guys anywhere besides the club, you know? Like it has to be explicit, 21 and over, or so. That's the other challenge is because we don't make music that's really catered to a wide audience. So we're gonna that's an uphill battle.
Interesting.
And that's probably why we don't get the platforms that we want. So our only way, and this is how I see it too, also is we do better music videos than reggae artists because that's our only way we can get an audience. What's the Fiji music video you've seen? What's the Ikolu? Ikolu's been around for how long? They don't have one music video. Can you believe that?
Yeah,
they have like 30 hits on this and not one music video. They don't care about the music video. So that's like we find different ways to market ourselves because and then that's the creative process. And that's why I do videos too, because now it's like, oh, you're not gonna get any radio play. I gotta figure out how to get internet play.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay, but you have a third?
A third what?
Album.
Artist.
Oh, artist.
Music Soul Child.
Oh, okay.
Michael Jackson, Kanye West.
All right.
Yeah. I was like, I thought you did 3.
Oh, sorry.
That's hard though, because I like so much. Yeah.
Your music tastes.
Yeah.
But it's great because you take it. You definitely take it and you move it into.
It's funny. I don't even listen to rap. Like on my own time, I don't even listen to hip hop. I only listen to like R&B. I only like slow music. Slow love music, the total opposite of what I do. Yeah,
he said singing "End of the Road."
Yep,
while he's doing his construction.
100%. Yesterday I was just cleaning up my warehouse, all R&B music.
Nice. Oh my gosh, it's funny.
Well, thank you very much for coming in. Appreciate it, man. For our audience, just to let you know, I will be up in Downey, California, April 7th at the Downey Theater for a Dennis Kamakahi tribute show. Nice. Otherwise, we'll see you when I get back. And thank you to our special guests. Where can they find you?
Osnizzle, OSNIZZLE on everything.
On everything.
Yeah.
Even Twitter. You're active on Twitter, which I like.
He's everywhere.
Or X.
Yeah, both. I just kind of copy and paste.
Yeah. It's good. It works, man, because I see your stuff all over the place. Okay. Till next time. Have a good one.
Okay.